Hello, welcome to the Lyceum Weekly Update number 17 for the week of April 7th, 2014 with me and Phoenix! Ah! If you look at him closely, he seems scared, confused, and a little aroused. Getting straight into launches, on Thursday the 10th there's going to be a rock and roll EP launch happening at the Old Manly Boat Shed in Manly, and that's with band The Hello Morning. Then onto Friday the 11th there's going to be an alternative indie pop split cassette launch, which I think means that they collaborated on a cassette launch, or they're both having a cassette launch, I'm not even sure. That's $18 at the News Agency in Marrickville with Harley Young and Go-Go Fish. And there's also a Funk Blues Roots album launch happening at Venue 505 in Surrey Hills. It's $11 with The Ninth Chapter. Then on Sunday the 12th there's going to be an alternative country folk album launch at the Camelot Lounge in Marrickville in the Django Bar, which I think is upstairs. And that's $13 with Dusty Ravens. And a $15 indie folk EP launch at the Mars Hill Cafe in Parramatta with Bronte. And lastly on Saturday there's going to be a contemporary jazz album launch at the Seymour Centre in Chippendale, part of the University of Sydney. That's $20 with Andre Keller. Or is it Andrea? If someone has the name Andrea, if they're a woman, it's Andrea? Or is it still like Andre? So it's spelled A-N-D-R-E-A.
Yeah, that's Andrea.
Andrea.
Yeah.
Okay, I said Andre, but it's a woman.
Yeah, it's a woman, so it's Andrea.
That makes sense. And that is with Andrea?
Andrea!
And that is with Andrea Kelly.
Andrea!
That is with Andrea Keller. Why does saying Andrea sound so foreign to me now?
Why does it?
It's like when you type a word and it doesn't look right.
You really need to get outside more.
There's this guy called Jime. I've never heard that word before. And now onto special gigs. On Thursday the 10th, there's going to be a, what the fuck is that? On Thursday the 10th, there's going to be rock songs performed as jazz styles, and $5 from all the tickets, which are $33, will be going to the McGrath Foundation. And that's happening at Foundry 616 in Ultimo. Also on Thursday is the grand final for the Vibrations band comp at Valve Bar. That's $15, so if you didn't go because you didn't want to see a bunch of bands that just didn't really know what they were doing, then you can go to the grand final and you can see bands that mostly know what they're doing. Then on Saturday the 12th there's going to be a free hardcore punk festival called Bubba Fest. I assume it's called Bubba Fest. I'm probably going to read that wrong as well. B-U-B-A Fest. Booba? Booba? That doesn't sound right. By the way, it's free, if I didn't say it already, happening starting at like 4:30 in the afternoon, and that's at Shire Live in Sutherland. I don't know if that's a place, I don't know if it's a venue, because the details are kind of vague, but it's just called Shire Live. Then on Sunday the 13th, there's going to be a World Jazz Classical fundraiser for children's hospitals in the Ukraine. That's happening at the Camelot Lounge in Marrickville for $23. And lastly on Sunday is Scorcher Fest at the Valve Bar, runs from midday, has a whole heap of rock, hip-hop, pop, all different kinds of acts, and that is $30. Runs all day and all night. Now on to news. Starting off, there's going to be some legislation planned to be introduced to sort out lockout laws for music venues. The Mayor of Leichhardt, Darcy Byrne, has put his support behind it and tabled it, which means that it will eventually get through to them looking at it. There are hopes that it will be put through to Parliament, and it's being put through in order to make live music venues that are established and historically don't cause any kind of alcohol-fueled violence for them to be exempt from the lockout laws. The legislation has the support of Laneway Festival promoter Danny Rogers, as well as musicians like Holly Throsby, with Throsby saying that there needs to be more legislation that recognise venues being good and not really causing any kind of problems, instead of just lumping them in with problem establishments and making a blanket ban for everybody. Also, in the vein of legislation that has to do with live music, the Live Music Task Force legislation, that just sounds like I have a lisp, that's a 57-point action plan to help live music in Sydney, came up to the Sydney City Council on Monday, and it got passed through in full, like it would have anyway, it wouldn't have been shut down. And it's part of a 5-year plan that in the course of the 5 years, live music will be upped in Sydney and it'll be improved and helped and it'll be awesome for everybody. A few of the key points of the plan that will now go through include an appointment of a live music liaison. I'm really bad with words today.
Darcy's a girl's name.
What's the proper pronunciation for liaison? It's one of those words that's like it originated in another country, so you feel like you need to pronounce it like you're in the other country. Yeah, it's French, so I'd have to say it like liaison.
No.
Some of the key points of the 57-point plan that has been put through now include an appointment of a live music liaison to cut red tape for venues and things like that, protect areas with live music history, an easier approval process for small, low-risk events, advice on noise issues before reactionary punishments, which is one of the bigger things that noise complaints immediately lead to fines, so now that's going to be scrapped. A grant program for venues wanting to hold all ages events, make unused hotel spaces available for music rehearsals, establishment of new major Sydney outdoor event space, advocate for musicians and performers to be included in affordable housing schemes, and easing of visa restrictions to allow more musicians to play in Sydney. If you click in the link below, it'll take you to our article, and you can also check out the full report that has all the points of the action plan that got put through and everything that'll be done across the next 5 years, and hopefully won't have any problems. And hopefully coupled with the plan that Darcy Byrne's putting through for making live music venues exempt from the lockout laws will make everything happy and rainbows and stuff. The 2014 lineup for Lollapalooza has been released, and there are Australian bands on the lineup, including from day 1, Courtney Barnett, Jaguar Ma, Iggy Azalea. Then on day 2, there's Cut Copy, John Butler Trio, The Temper Trap, Vance Joy, Anna Luno, and on day 3, Flume and Betty Who. It's just part of a continuing trend of seeing a whole heap of Aussie bands playing festivals, including ones that were playing on Coachella, ones that were playing at South by Southwest. If you're unsure who any of those bands are, all of them are linked in the article that the Lyceum wrote, so you can click on it below and see who's playing Lollapalooza and listen to some awesome music. And the last piece of news for this week, Australian independent labels have been given government funding. A lot of them go into a big pool of money to try and get the grants, and then some of them get picked out from all around Australia and given like between $30,000 and $60,000, I think, to help fund things and help to promote bands, help to produce albums and get them released over the next year. Of the independent labels that got funding, the ones that are based in New South Wales, which could be of interest to you, include the future classic label Rice Is Nice Records, Split Records, and Stop Start Records. A couple of them are actually easy to find with links, so if you want to check them out, then just click in the links below. Especially if you're a band kind of looking to maybe get on with a good independent label and are big enough to be noticed by said label. And lastly, Band of the Week this week goes to Bill and Bob. They are a alternative rockabilly, kind of 50s revival, rock and roll. Difficult to really put your finger on, but they sound really, really cool. Just a duo of guys, a guitarist and a drummer along with vocals. So if you want to hear what they sound like and make your own mind up of what their sound is like, then just wait until the end of the video where I'll play a track of theirs. They're also having a gig on Thursday at the Lyceum Hotel in Lyceum for $8. So if you like what you hear and you like what else they have on their Facebook page, which you can get to in the link below, then go check them out live, because I'll probably try and head out to see them because they sound cool. That's everything from this week, and stay tuned until next week when I'll put up a bunch of other stuff of news and launches. If you like things that we talked about, comment on it in Thingo and Thingo, or the other Thingo that we run, those things. If you're interested to check out the gig guide, it is up on the website right now, so go and check that out. What does it say? What else do we have to say, Phoenix? What else do we say? Be good! Don't judge me.
There's no room to turn in our matchbox world. Tweedledee and Tweedledum are the names you learn. No face is free of the plastic breeze or the voodoo dolls in your Kit Kat teeth. Yeah.